I still remember the sound of the front door clicking shut. Soft, almost apologetic, yet final enough to echo in my chest like a warning bell. It was the night everything broke. "Please, Emma. Don't go," I had said, my voice low but firm. I wasn't shouting, I was pleading. She stood there in the hallway, hair curled, perfume lingering in the air. Sweet and heavy, a scent I had loved once. She looked beautiful. But that night it felt like a weapon. "It's just a party, Michael. Stop making it a big deal," she replied, slipping on her heels without looking at me. "It's not just a party," I whispered, gripping the back of the couch so hard my knuckles turned white. "It's his party." Her pause was brief, almost invisible. But I caught it. That momentary freeze before she forced a laugh. "You're being paranoid." Paranoid. That word had become her shield lately. A deflection whenever my gut whispered that something was wrong. For weeks I had been sensing it. The late-night texts she wouldn't explain, the sudden secrets, the way she smiled at her phone like it knew her better than I did. And now this party. The rain was coming down in sheets as I stood by the window after she left, phone in hand, staring at the message thread that had started this spiral. "Me, are you coming home after work?" "Emma, not tonight. There's a company thing. Don't wait up." Company thing. I found out from a mutual friend that it wasn't some corporate networking event. It was a private party thrown by Daniel, her mentor. Divorced, mid-40s, with a smile too slick to be trustworthy. I had asked her directly. She lied, then admitted it when pressed, then said it was harmless. But my instinct screamed otherwise. The hours crawled. Midnight. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I scrolled through our wedding photos, her beaming in that ivory dress, me looking at her like she was the only thing that had ever mattered. And maybe that was the problem. She had been my everything while I wasn't sure what I was to her anymore. At 3:07 a.m., the headlights finally swept across the living room. I didn't turn on the lights. I just sat there in the dark as the door opened, and she tiptoed in like a thief. "Michael, you're awake," she whispered, startled. "Where were you?" My voice was calm. "Come." Her coat dripped with rain as she hesitated by the doorway. "At the party. I told you. You told me a lot of things tonight," I said, standing. "Some of them true. Most of them not." She flinched at that. "You're doing it again. Twisting everything." I was networking, talking to colleagues. At 3 in the morning. Her silence was answer enough. I don't know what broke first, my heart or the illusion that we were still on the same side. I stepped closer, the scent of whiskey and someone else's cologne hitting me like a slap. "Did you sleep with him?" "Michael, did you sleep with him?" Her eyes darted away. That was all I needed. The next days were a blur, not of shouting but of absence. Her things still filled the house, but her presence was gone. She tried to spin it as a mistake, a moment of weakness. But what burned wasn't just the betrayal, it was the choice. Because I had begged her. I had given her a chance to choose us that night. And she didn't. 1 week later I found the proof I didn't want. A photo sent anonymously to my inbox. Emma in his arms, laughing under the dim lights of that party. Not just a dance. Not just a drink. An embrace that belonged to someone who had already crossed the line. I confronted her with it. "You killed us that night," I said, sliding the photo across the table. Tears welled in her eyes. "It wasn't like that, Michael, please. Don't." My voice cracked. "Don't make me the villain for seeing the truth." Her hands trembled. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "But you did," I said, standing. "Because you wanted what he offered more than what we had." The divorce was quiet, almost clinical. Friends asked if we could work through it. Family whispered that I was being too harsh, that a party isn't worth destroying a marriage over. But they didn't hear the door close that night. They didn't hear my voice break as I begged her to stay. Months passed. I moved out first. Couldn't bear the ghost of her perfume in the halls. She stayed, then eventually left too, chasing something she couldn't even name. Sometimes I still think about that night, about how one choice can tilt an entire life off its axis. If she had stayed, would it have saved us? Or was she already gone long before that door closed? Last week she texted me out of nowhere. "I miss what we had." I stared at the screen for a long time before typing. "So do I. But what we had died the night you chose him over me." And I hit send. That night taught me something brutal but necessary. Betrayal doesn't always come with screaming matches or dramatic confessions. Sometimes it comes softly, dressed in perfume, whispering promises it never intends to keep, and walks out the door without looking back. I'm learning to stop looking back too. Because some nights don't just end a day. They end a life you thought was yours.